I just watched the 3 Predator movies, each Predator movie taking place in a unique location. The first one, the jungle. The second one, Los Angeles. The third one, the jungle. But it's a different planet, I guess that counts. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler talk retro review for Predators. This was actually kind of an interesting movie, and I found myself really enjoying it. I definitely enjoyed it better than Predator 2. Now, when it comes to these 3 Predator movies, I have never seen them before. So with the new Predator coming out here, and my review of that coming out here really soon, I thought, okay, I better catch up, go back and watch all of these. So, you could catch my theological analysis for Predator 1987. You can also check out my spoiler talk review for Predator 2. And right here and now is my spoiler talk review for Predators.
This planet is a game preserve. We're the game.
So, this movie was kind of interesting to me because it went back and forth in a few places, but otherwise, like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I liked it better than Predator 2. First off, I love how this movie opened, because it opened with so much mystery. I mean, it's just people parachuting out of the sky. They wake up, they're falling, the parachute goes off, they're in the jungle. So it's like these strangers have to meet and figure out where they are, how they got here, trying to remember where they were last. And I kind of like that the movie just literally dropped this in right in the midst of everything that was going on. So I thought that was a really great opener, and it was an attention grabber right from the beginning because it caught my attention right from the beginning, and I was really interested to get to know all these characters and figure out where they all come from. The one that kind of drove me nuts, though, is our lead, Adrien Brody. And I think he drove me nuts not because he was a bad actor or he did a bad job. It was just the voice. He always talked like this. Hello, I'm a tough guy.
Please stop doing that.
And I'm gonna talk like a tough guy. And it bugged me because I think, when I think Adrien Brody, and when I picture him in the other movies I've pictured him in, to me he's just like this Oscar contender. Always, ever. Like, I just always picture him in these artsy, Oscar-type movies, and that's like the kind of role I picture him in. Suddenly I'm Mr. Tough Guy. I talk like this. So, like, I don't know. I kind of had a hard time with that. Again, it's not that he as an actor was terrible, and I think he did what he was told to, but there was something about it that was just kind of weird. And again, it's that picture I have. He's the Oscar guy, and here he is trying to play this tough guy. I kind of had a hard time buying into it, but it didn't completely put me off from the film or his character or, like, take me out of it. But then as people are falling out of the sky in the beginning, suddenly there's Danny Trejo. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? Yes! Yes, that's awesome! And then Morpheus shows up. Yes! I mean, like, the cast, like, I was having fun as people were showing up in this, and so I was like, this is gonna be cool. Topher Grace? What?
Where's the tough guy?
Wait, Topher Grace? What is he doing in this? I think Laura and I both did a double take. We're like, is that Topher Grace? Like, it took us a long while to believe it and then accept it, even like once we were really going. It's like, what is Topher Grace doing here? But then there's a little bit of intrigue to his character at the beginning because, like, everybody else there was tough. They were warriors.
I was supposed to be executed 2 days ago.
I was in combat. So was I.
Black Ops.
And then Topher Grace. And so immediately there's a red flag there because you know there's a reason Topher Grace is here. And so really, I did find that interesting, trying to figure it out. But overall, like, it was interesting as they were traveling through trying to figure out where they were, how they got there, what were they doing before they got there, and trying to make a connection between all of them, like between who everybody is and all that stuff. But one thing that kind of bugged me again, so first off, the way they get into this world, they fall through the sky. So I could kind of forgive they don't look up and see all these giant planets and moons in the sky. Because, you know, they were unconscious, they just woke up, and their first thought is, oh my gosh, I'm falling. So I could kind of excuse that they didn't see the planets in the sky then. But Adrien Brody makes a point. In the middle of this movie, they go out into this wide open glade with a wide open sky. And he's like, the sun hasn't moved since we got here. Okay. I mean, it sets later, so it's obviously moving. But there's a wide open sky. And they did not see, like, the giant planets and the moons. And I was trying to figure that out. I was like, why? Why is it like that? And the big reveal of the planets and the moons and stuff that they saw when they stepped into the other clearing, it's like, yeah, that was cool. Like, visually, it was really nice. But I was like, why didn't you guys see that before? And then, okay, so speaking of visually, I did like the effects a lot better, and of course I would. I mean, come on, the other ones were from the 80s, 1987 and 1990, so they were what the effects were back in the day. So it was really cool to see this movie coming out in 2010 and the effects updated, like the kind of half invisible, but you could sort of see them Predator, and so like that effect was just so much better, and all the other effects were a lot better, so it was really cool to see all of that updated. But like at the end though, when Adrien Brody did cover himself in mud and he's running around without his shirt on, to me it was very obvious what they were going for. And once again, I just can't seem to buy it from Adrien Brody. Again, I don't think he's a bad actor and did entirely that bad, but you're really going for that Arnold Schwarzenegger look, aren't you? And that guy just doesn't have it. Then Topher Grace turning out to really be a murderer, and that being the reveal that he's not just a murderer, he's like a psychopath, smart, weird, crazeball murderer. And it's interesting that he wanted to stay there because he knew on Earth he was a monster, and so he wanted to stay among the monsters because it made him feel normal. And if there was a theological analysis in that film, it's right there in Topher Grace's character. That all his life, all he's done is tried to be a monster, let the monster into his heart, and allowed himself to become a monster. I mean, he gave himself over to being a monster, gave himself over to the world of monsters, and reaped what he sowed, death and destruction. But again, the other fascinating thing about this movie that continued to bring me in was the Predator lore, because now here we are on this planet and find out there's a blood feud, and we learned that from Laurence Fishburne, that you have the big predators versus the small predators, and there's kind of like a blood feud between them, and the big ones are hunting the small ones. So it's like, that was kind of interesting just to learn that much more about the predators. And so they have this whole planet set up now where they capture life forms on other planets and drop them here, and then they hunt them. And they hunt them to become better predators, fiercer predators. And so it kind of forces their evolution to evolve and to become more and more dangerous creatures. And so it was very interesting to dive deeper into the predators, who and what they are and how they operate. So even where the film was weak in places, to get the lore and the backstory of the predators still continue to interest me. So I'm gonna give this one a solid B. It's gonna be really tough to beat that first Predator movie of Schwarzenegger. That one was just really, really good. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say even this new one, The Predator, it's not gonna beat the first one for me. It's just not gonna do it. But I did enjoy this third one. I enjoyed it better than the second one. It still doesn't even touch the first one, and I enjoyed getting deeper into the lore of the Predator. I enjoyed how this film opened and just sucked me right in and kind of held my attention of why is everybody here, what is going on, explain this to me. So I thought, you know, it was just really cool of the movie to drop me right into the story the way it dropped these characters right into the jungle. So I did enjoy that aspect of it. If you saw Predators, what did you think of this movie? What would you rate it, A through F? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you'll be notified the very next time I do another movie review, or my The Predator review coming out here real soon, or our next theological analysis, ranking video, anything else I do here, hit that bell so you will be notified as soon as that drops. I'm Durbin, thanks for checking out Durbania.